Okay, this is our third try for episode 7 of Julie & Scott on Comics.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll put the hats on again. We've already done this twice. I'm Sheriff Scott, and this is Julie the Outlaw. This is our special Halloween episode of Julie & Scott on Comics. It's really scary. It's really scary. So in our first two attempts at filming episode 7, one, the camera fell, and another one, somebody came in. Somebody may have coming on this one too, but the one where the camera fell, I bet that's some pretty spectacular footage.
Yeah.
Of the
the attempt to pick it up and put it back. Yeah.
The iPad is full. Couldn't figure out how to use the camera on the other one, so we're shooting this on my phone. We read Mother Panic for this episode, and we've already gone into on one of the other attempts at this. We've never shot more than one. I know our tens of loyal fans
Yes.
will be really surprised to hear that we've never had multiple shoots of any episode. We just do them once and that's it.
Yeah.
Because they're always so polished and professional.
Yeah, you know.
So, I'm sure it's hard for our fans to realize that. But neither one of us really liked Mother Panic.
No, terrible.
The character was really, she was unrelatable. She was rich and snotty and dismissive, and that's when she was in her, like her civilian guise. She was like a celebutante, like Kim Kardashian or something.
Yeah.
And then when she was a superhero, apparently they'd done some experimenting on her and she had some super strength. But she had a really weird uniform. It shot acid out of the mask.
They never really explained like the concept behind it. I was waiting and waiting and waiting.
It's right from Aliens. What bad guy shoots acid out of his mask? I mean, what good guy shoots acid out of his mask?
Yeah.
That was weird.
It was really weird.
And she got like oversized hockey goalie gloves on and a weird looking hat, and she has this super duper magic one-person glider that flies all around.
Yes.
Didn't say a word about where she got that.
No.
She's rich, I get it. So she's got money, but I don't know, where do you get the technology for a one-man open-air motorcycle glider? I can't see it. I was so fascinated. When we got done with this, Julie and I both, it was a grind to get through.
Yeah, that was a struggle.
Force ourselves to read it all, because it was unnecessarily profane. A lot of the profanity had a feeling like, hey, we're just throwing this in because nobody said we can't. It didn't feel like it developed a character or created a tension in a situation. It felt very gratuitous, like, hey, look what we can do.
Yeah.
We can swear as much as we want. And it was too much.
Mm-hmm.
I read the epilogue, because when I was done with it, I was so fascinated that such a stinker got to the comics. And there's people that, there's quotes on the back of it where people are like, it's great.
Yes.
It's not great.
They were paid.
In the epilogue, there was a line where one of the writers was talking about, he wondered what it would be like if Karl Lagerfeld designed a superhero uniform. And I thought, I've never wondered that. I know who Karl Lagerfeld is. I have for a long time. One of my sisters wanted to be a fashion designer, but I never really wondered what would one of his superhero uniforms look like. Well, apparently it would look like Mother Panic. There was also some weirdo imagery in it. Remember at the beginning, I gotta show the camera this. There's all this like spooky imagery, like there's a rose with an eyeball in it, and there's a skull with a bunny coming out of it. Why was there a skull with a bunny coming out of it?
You think they would explain it in 6 issues? What is this? But no.
Yeah, it was 6 issues.
Never hinted at. It just kind of.
Yep, and then it stopped. All of a sudden, it just stopped.
I felt like it was like brainwashing. Like in watching a video and they throw in the random images. That's what it was doing. And I'm like, I don't know what it's trying to do to me.
It was subliminal messaging.
Yes.
So then, at some point, like 3/4 of the way through it, these graphic novels are always just 6 or 7 issues of a comic book that are tied together. So the art changed. And now the art had some cartoonish horror imagery in it. Like this is she's remembering the place where they experimented on her and gave her superpowers. And that didn't really do anything for me. I mean, it was a little different. Originally the artwork was just busy and cluttered, and I didn't really like it. It was a little bit hard to follow the action.
Yes.
This was I liked the art a little bit better, but the horrific imagery of the gaping jaws and the scalpels and stuff.
Yeah.
Here's another one. That one especially, that one didn't do anything. It's the evil doctors that are about to experiment on our hapless hero. But when you make a hero that's so horribly, utterly unlovable, it's really hard to have a good book around it. It's not impossible.
Yeah.
There's been, Like the movie Logan, for instance, is a good example. Logan's an awful person in that movie, but he grows a little bit, he gets a little bit softer, and he learns a little bit, and it makes it more enjoyable.
Yeah.
But we didn't like the book.
Nope.
Okay, so local stuff. We're shooting in the this is the Programming and Venue Services office. Julie said she'd never been in here, so
Nope.
I'll show you guys the Programming and Venue Services office. This is where, like, if you want to book a room here at the West Charleston Library, you do it through this office. Their phone number is 702-507-3964. Shameless plug. Speak to Emil or Feruze. They'll be happy to help you set up a room at West Charleston branch. Have you watched any cool trailers? Did you watch the movie trailers? The comic?
Yes.
Okay, so Thor looks like it's going to be fun.
I am so excited for Thor. It looks like it's going to be so bad it's good. That's the feeling
Like cheesy
I get.
and campy?
Yes. Justice League, I'm kind of iffy on it. I was not that excited by the trailer.
No, me neither. You know what I noticed about the Justice League trailer was that it's so dark. Literally, like, the background of virtually every shot is darkness. There was only a shot or two that was actually shot in the light. I thought that was kind of an interesting way to go. That whole DC's got to be gritty thing worked for Batman. It doesn't really work great for Superman. We'll see how it works for the Justice League. It felt, just from watching that 2-minute trailer, it felt like the Justice League was trying too hard. Like it was trying really hard to have that group dynamic and have, and Aquaman was going to be the wisecracker. And
Yeah, I got that feel.
we'll see. Maybe it'll be better than it looks, but right now it looks mediocre and like they're trying really hard. And then we should probably speak in hushed tones about the Last Jedi. That one looks really awesome.
I'm excited for that.
The second movie, Empire Strikes Back, is my all-time favorite film.
Oh,
And
okay.
so, like the first Force Awakens was a lot like New Hope. And so if this one is a lot like Empire Strikes Back, everyone else will probably complain. I'll be thrilled. I just watched it again over the weekend, because why not?
Yeah.
I just got a new streaming service and there it was. The scene with the walkers, where the walkers show up to the time that they fly away from Hoth, that is literally my favorite cinematic event ever.
What number of Star Wars movie is Empire Strikes Back?
That's tricky. That's tricky.
Okay.
Julie doesn't realize it, but she just opened up a can of worms. It's the second movie that came out,
Okay, so number
but it's
5.
the 5th movie if you count the prequels, and as True Nerds were forced to do that.
Yeah.
But the thing with the walkers, with the big gorilla walkers that are like walking on the backs of their hands.
Oh, that was I saw that. I'm like, that was kind of interesting.
Cool. Oh my gosh, that looks awesome. I saw that and I was just gobsmacked by it. Like in the previous trailer, you can see those funky asymmetrical things that are flying along and they're dragging the ground. And there's just one quick clip where the camera's behind them and you see something off in the distance that look like columns or something. Well, those are the walkers, and that's the scene with the walkers. So, really excited about that.
Okay, I'll watch the 5th one. I'll watch Empire Strikes Back and figure out what scene you're talking about. So I'm trying to picture it, and I can't.
It's
quite
towards
get
the beginning when they're on Hoth, and they go out and Han has to rescue Luke because he's out in the snow, and they spend the night, and then I think it's the next day, or maybe it's a couple of days later when the Empire shows up and starts just blowing the heck out of everything.
I played the video game of that scene, so I know
That's
what
a
you're
good,
talking about.
yeah. Man, I've been playing a video game of that scene since like the '80s. There's been a bunch of them, and the ones that are out now are so insanely cool. For next time, I can't think of anything else. The Star Wars, the Thor, and the Justice League. Thor looks fun, but it does look like it's going to be campy, doesn't it?
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
There's a 1987 version of the commercial that's out there, and it's the commercial now, but they've like retrograded it to make it look like it came out in 1987.
No.
And it is awesome. That's the year I graduated high school, so every commercial that came out that year I thought was super awesome.
Oh, okay.
Because you're 18. But that 1987 retrograde, it like skips a little bit, and like the vertical hold, the horizontal hold goes on it like it's playing on a VHS or VCR. It's pretty cool. It's actually pretty neat.
Gotta check that out.
Okay, so for next time, in
Oh my
keeping
gosh.
with the spirit of Halloween, we're going to read Monsters Unleashed. And here's my pledge to you, our tens of loyal fans.
Yes.
I feel bad for recommending Mother Panic because it was such a stinker and it was so profane. And I went to bat last time saying, hey, I'm not going to recommend anything that you guys will find objectionable. To my credit, I flipped through this to make sure there was nothing, nothing untoward.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't read it, and that's how the profanity got by me. So this one, I flipped through it, nothing untoward, and then I read the first chapter, essentially like the first book in it, and I'll do that from now on, because I kind of want Julie and I to discover the books together, but I also at some point have to make a reasonable attempt to keep from recommending pieces of junk like Mother Panic, because if I had read the first chapter of that, I would never have recommended that book. Man, was that a stinker. But they got me in because Batman was on the cover, and Batman was in the book exactly as much as he was on the cover, which is to say one time for one panel. That's how much he was in the book. This book is so awesome. Look at how big this is. And it's all about superheroes fighting giant monsters. It's so cool. The artwork is gorgeous. I was reading this last night. I had to set this on the island in my kitchen because it's so big. So anyway, in keeping with Halloween, we're going to recommend Monsters Unleashed for next episode.
That's insane.
I think that's about it. Our timer went off.
Yes.
We're shooting this on my phone because the iPad was full, so I hope it's not clipped a little bit. That's all I got. Jenny, you got anything else?
That's all I got.
Again, I did all the talking. Here, I want to show you. This is some of the artwork that our scheduling, our programming and venue services folks did. Isn't that lovely?
Yes, and then our bookmark.
Oh, this is our bookmark. Julian Scott on Comics. Wait, Julian Scott on Comic. And it's got a QR code on the back that links to one of our episodes. Pretty neato. These are available at your local library.
2017,
2017, yo. Okay, that's about it. For Julie and myself, for Sheriff Julie and Sheriff Scott and Julie the Outlaw. We'll see you guys next time.